Hello, everyone. Welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast alongside my co-host Drew DeLucci, who will be here soon. I am Prince of Picks. Happy Friday, happy Good Friday. We've got a lot of sports on the horizon here as we are entering into this 3-day weekend. So, of course, on the pitch, we've got our domestic leagues back in action. A lot of our big dogs, our major leagues, are going to be back in play here. So, we're of course eager to get into that. We've got March Madness as well, the Final Four taking place as well this weekend. So a lot of things on the sports horizon. Of course, the NBA, NHL, MLB, all those things are in full swing as well. So great time to be a sports investor. Great time to be a sports fan. We will definitely be giving you our best looks, bets, and angles to send you into the weekend here. So before we do that, if you guys can do us a solid favor, head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Just give us a real quick rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. It helps grow this community and this channel. Let me go ahead and bring in my co-host Drew DeLucci. Drew, good morning, brother. How you doing? How did we do on our picks yesterday?
Oh yeah, my side did pretty well. I think I went 2-0 on my straights. Cole Reagans went over 60.5 outs. He did pretty well. And then we hit the over 228.5 by 1 point. We'll take it. So instead of getting hooked, we got the hook. So that was fun.
Yeah, a win is a win, and we'll take it any way that we can get it for sure. As for me, guys, didn't do too well on the pitch. Unfortunately, we struck out there. We were looking at Castellón and Almeria in the La Liga 2. We were looking at BTTS and over 2.5. Unfortunately, there was a red card in that match, so red cards always kind of throw a caveat in the thing. So we got 2 goals in that one, but we weren't able to get the third or the BTTS. Then we missed out on the score goal parlay as well in Serie A. Santos scored, but Chapecoense got blown out actually by Atletico Mineiro, and then Flamengo, another game that featured a red card, so they weren't able to score as well. So we missed out on that, but we made up for it in the NBA. We hit on our money line parlay Thunder. Of course, that thing was over right at the tip. The Lakers never stood a chance, and Thunder just absolutely laid the hammer on them. So we hit on Thunder money line. We hit on Cavs money line over the Warriors. That we were laying. Actually, we were taking 5.5 with the Spurs against the Clippers, but turns out we didn't need it. The Spurs ended up winning that one by around 20 points. So that parlay hit at plus 100. And then, of course, in baseball, we hit on Rafael Devers. He went yard. We hit a home run plus 630. So that was a great play for us. A little sprinkle on that, a little bonus money to go into the weekend here. And then we also hit on the NHL parlay. The Vegas Knights took care of business against the Calgary Flames on the money line. We hit the Minnesota Wild on the money line, and then we took Edmonton on a plus 1.5. But it turns out we didn't need it. They won that one outright against the Chicago Blackhawks. So that one cashed out at plus 100 as well. So pretty even day yesterday for me. But we've got a lot of picks again, of course, today. We will see what we can do here and try to send everyone into the weekend with a little bit extra money in their bankroll. Let's go ahead and start off in the major leagues. Drew, we'll start off in baseball. I'm going to give you my play, and you tell me what you think about it, and then you give me your play. So for me today, guys, in the major leagues, I'm on a team total parlay here. I like the Yankees team total over 2.5, taking on the Miami Marlins. And then I'm also going to parlay that with the Colorado Rockies team total over 2.5, taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. You're going to get that parlay at minus 119. This is kind of touching on what we had talked about yesterday in terms of ballpark, home run friendly ballparks that we might like to attack on a regular basis throughout the season. And so the Yankees, of course, at home, we had mentioned that to one of our top 5 favorite ballparks for home runs, and then the Rockies as well, up there in Mile High with Colorado. In that environment there, you also see a lot of home runs there as well. The Phillies, one of the highest ERAs coming into this game, so there's a good chance there for the Rockies to get some runs, and I like the Yankees as well to get some runs. So Yankees team total over 2.5, Rockies team total over 2.5. That probably comes at a minus 119. Drew, you're the baseball expert. What do you think about that?
Um, yeah, I like that. I think that's overall a good play.
Okay, cool. And then what did you have for baseball? And then we'll get into our home run picks at the end before we move on to NHL. But for baseball, do you have anything for today?
Oh yeah, it's a very good slate today. Something I like. I actually do like a combo of outs. My first play. I will go to the Padres and Red Sox. Um, we have Michael King versus Sonny Gray. So Sonny Gray hasn't been as good lately, but I don't really want to touch him. Michael King is at over 14 and a half outs from minus 205. So I'm definitely going to add him for that. The Red Sox offense has been absolutely abysmal against starters. I know the main worry, of course, the Red Sox is they're having the home opener. They're in Fenway, which can be a favorable hitter's park if you're able to hit over the Green Monster and the lazy pull to right, but it's not favorable to center field. It's one of the deepest center fields. Michael King is last year, of course, he was a reliever converted starter. They usually count on him to at least go 5 innings. I know the Padres had a day off, so the bullpen is fresh, but their starters haven't gone as deep as they would want them to go. We've seen, like Walker Bueller only go like, what was it, like 3 2/3. Jermaine Marquez not go far. Nick Pivetta only went like 5 innings. Michael King is, I think, the only one that really went 5 innings smoothly. And Nick Pivetta, the very first game of the season, got absolutely rocked. So I think they're going to want Michael King to at least go 5 innings. So that's the first part of it.
Okay, awesome. What else did you have?
The second part of it is we'll go to the Tigers game. Um, the Tigers Cardinals. Perfect. See. I like Framber Valdez here in this spot against the Cardinals. And I think he'll be able to do well. I think he'll be able to do well enough to go 6, but not to the 7th inning at the end of the day. So I like to combine it with his under 18.5 and minus 175. The Cardinals have been a hot offense to where a lot of their young guys are doing very well, right? And I believe that he will go maybe 5 or 6, but I think 18.5 is too much. I know Scooble just went 7 innings against the Diamondbacks, but the Tigers bullpen is a little fresh. So I think Framber will have like a cap of 6. So I like combining both of those.
Okay, cool. Like I said before, I mean, I'm not really in a position to be giving an analysis yet on Major League Play, so of course I'll defer to you, and I'll tell anything that you have to say as of now until I get a little bit more comfortable in baseball. Did you have any other looks that we should be looking at here in the major leagues?
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me see real quick. Actually, I'll be right back because I have to the AC guys here right now.
Okay,
So yeah,
no
my bad.
problem.
That's why I was
No
kind of
problem. You
stuttering
know
a
what?
little bit.
No, no, that's fine. You know what? We'll just move on to soccer so you can take care of whatever it
Oh
is you got to
yeah,
take
yeah,
care of,
definitely the
and then
AC. Yeah,
we'll get
yeah,
back to
yeah,
sports. Yeah,
definitely.
no
That's why
worries.
I was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're all good.
perfect.
No worries. I got you,
I'll let you
Drew.
know
All
when I'm
right.
back.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, man. All right, so we're gonna pivot here, guys. Drew's got some things to take care of here, so he's gonna be out for a little bit. So let's go ahead and just we're gonna move into soccer here. I'm gonna go ahead and give my plays, and I'm gonna bring in Brad here. Brad's nice enough to join us here, and he's gonna give us some of his plays as well. And so that'll kind of buy Drew some time here to get take care of whatever he has to take care of there. So let's go ahead and pivot over to soccer, guys. For me, I'm looking at one match today. It's gonna be in League One over in France. We got PSG taking on Toulouse. I like PSG here, minus 1.5. Is a little bit juice for me, minus 135. I typically don't like to take a minus 1.5 unless it's like minus 120 or better. But I think the trends are there for PSG to get this one done. This has hit in 3 of the last 5 head to head between PSG and Toulouse. And of course, PSG, they're going to need every point they can get here as they are in a dogfight for the top of the table in League One. So they're not really in a position to be rotating heavily. Now, of course, they do have Champions League in midweek next week. So you might see some slight rotation of the lineup, but I don't think you're going to see too much rotation just because, in my opinion, I think it's equally as important to win the French league as it is to win the Champions League. I mean, I think if they, if they don't win the French league, I think it would be a pretty big deal for them. regardless of what they do in Champions League. So I think they're going to prioritize both. Plus, you're just coming off the international break. Of course, France, a lot of the players that play for PSG, they weren't really involved in any major competitions. Most of those were friendlies. So I think you're going to see a rested PSG side here take care of business against Toulouse. Give me PSG -1.5 on the Asian spread at -135. And then next up for me, guys, we're going to look at the matches take place on Saturday. We've got quite a few here. I'm going to cover a couple of them. We've got a 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff in La Liga. The big daddy here, Atletico Madrid taking on Barcelona, probably the marquee matchup of the weekend. Look, guys, goals are heavily juiced in this one. I couldn't really find a playable line for any kind of goals angle without going to a crazy amount. Right now, the best thing that I looked at was over 3 at -150. I know that's above some people's juice tolerance, so that's what I like. But if you're looking for something with a little bit less juice, a little bit better of a payout here. What I landed on was Atletico Madrid to score first. That comes in at +105. This has hit in 23 of 29 matches in La Liga for Atletico Madrid. So it's a little bit of a shot in the dark because it's kind of hard to tell who's going to score first. But I just think with the way Barcelona plays, they play that very high line. I think that's going to create, obviously, a lot of chances for Atletico to score. And given the trends here, they've been scoring first rather frequently in La Liga. So I'll take Atletico Madrid here to score first, +105. But honestly, my favorite play for this one is going to be Atletico Madrid, Barcelona over 3 goals. It is a little bit juiced. If you want to wait live, maybe there's no goals between first 15, 20 minutes. You're probably going to get a better price at that. But for me, pregame, I like over 3 goals in that one. Then next up here, we're gonna go to I call this the Kings of Europe parlay. I like Real Madrid on the money line, parlayed with Bayern Munich on the money line. Now, of course, these two teams are going to be playing each other in Champions League midweek next week, so you might see some rotated lineups here, but I think both of these teams, second teams, are still good enough to win their respective matches. Real Madrid, they've won 14 of their last 18 against Mallorca. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich, they've also won 22 of their last 29 matches against Freiburg. So I think both teams here are set up for a win, regardless of who plays. I like Madrid to win, Bayern Munich to win. That parlay comes in at +117. And then finally, here for me, in terms of the soccer plays, I've got a score goal parlay here in the MLS. Of course, this is going to be Saturday night. Some of these games are going to be a midday. Actually, this first one, Toronto and Colorado, is going to be taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be tomorrow, again, Saturday, for this one. But I got 4 games here, 4 teams to score. I like Toronto to score. I like Nashville to score. I like Orlando City to score. And I like Inter Miami to score. If you parlay those together, you get it at +101 odds. Toronto taking on Colorado Rapids. The Rapids have been one of the more suspect defenses in the MLS, specifically on the road. They tend to concede a lot of goals. So I think Toronto, with their improved offense, of course, they added Josh Sargent. If you're looking for an anytime goal scorer, I would maybe sprinkle some on Josh Sargent. I think he's due for a goal here against the Colorado side that tends to concede a lot. I like Nashville to score, of course, taking on the Chicago Fire. The Fire here, we all know about them and their defensive woes. So I think Nashville, one of the better offenses in the league so far. So I think they have a great chance here to score against the Fire. Orlando City, this one's based on their style of play. They're a very front foot, aggressive style playing team. So I think given that, they're going to have a lot of volume here, a lot of chances to score against LAFC. So I like Orlando to score. And then Miami, of course. Miami, how can you go wrong with Miami to score a goal? They're going to be opening their new stadium, by the way. So there's that as well. So, of course, they're going to be even more motivated opening their new stadium against Austin FC. For me, Austin doesn't really offer much of anything. They don't do anything particularly great. So I think Miami is in a great position here. And we're just going to add that one just to get the parlay to plus money. So again, Toronto, Nashville, Orlando, Miami, all to score at +101. Let me take a breath here and let me bring in Brad here. I guess pick up Brad Betts. Of course, you guys all know him. He's featured on DTL quite frequently and one of the great cappers and a great friend of mine as well. So, Brad, brother, thanks for jumping on with us as always. What do you got for us? Anything we should be looking for today, the weekend? Like I said, I know we got all the leagues coming back in action this weekend. So, what do you got your eye on for us?
Well, I had my eye on the over one, which we just slammed in the Burton versus Barnsley match. And Burton ended up scoring 5 minutes after we played that over one, giving us a nice sweat free almost push where Barnsley ties it up in the 90th, just like 30 seconds ago. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Anyway, we're also looking at, I gave it on DTL this morning. It is the Slovenian SNL. It's the top flight of Slovenian football. Illuminish is taking on Radomilje, and we're looking for that over 2.75 on the Asian total. So that's 3 total goals. Radomilje, it's playing right now. It's in the 18th minute. Radomilje scored in the 6th. So it is still up around that 3.5 mark live. But if the longer it goes in the first half, there's a really good chance you can still get it in. Both teams trend more goals in the second half. Also, what am I looking at? I mean, I'm looking at 1,000 things this weekend because, let's be honest, everything is finally back. Oh, Radomilje, 0-2, baby. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Sorry. 19th minute. Got to be happy about that. Hold on, I got to send a message. I mean, like, I haven't even got to Saturday yet, other than, like, the big boys. Obviously, Bayern. We're going to be looking at Bayern every time that they play because it's Bayern Munich. They hit over 2.5 goals in just about every single time that they play. However, the one thing that we have to be cautious about, have some cause for concern, is that these teams like Bayern, like Arsenal, like some of these top guys are turning around and playing in Champions League on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So what Bayern has done lately, at least some of it. They did it against Leverkusen. They've done it, I believe it was in the first Champions League round, but Nico Jackson starting for Kane. And whenever you have Nicholas Jackson starting in place of Harry Kane comes in the second half. You might see more goals later. So maybe look for more goals later in that match and be just very, very cautious with your lines everywhere you are, because a lot of rotation is still happening as players are coming back from international break, or not so, like in Arsenal, who potentially lost up to maybe 10 or 11 players to injury, or some of those guys could just be withdrawing early because they want to be back with the club. So those are the type of things you need to be monitoring all day. Before we can really get into anything else, I want to talk about MLS. Prince touched on that LAFC Orlando match. Let's be honest right now. Orlando City is probably one of the worst defensive teams in the entire world, and that's solely based on play style. The coach is just brutal.
By the way,
attempting.
not to interrupt you, that's not an overstatement. That's absolutely true. Go ahead.
I try not to be ridiculous on here, but like the coach for Orlando is playing straight up offense. It's an overloaded offense with very little defense. You watched it against New York City Football Club. You watched it against Nashville FC. Both teams put up, 4 or 5 goals on Orlando. So with that, both teams to score, I am a little more concerned, because if both teams do score, like if Orlando does score, I see both teams score because of LAFC. But I also see LAFC scoring 2, maybe 3. So that over 3 would be something that I might be looking forward to taking live. But Prince is right. Based on that number, you'd think they have a good chance. Duncan McGuire, Aheda. I don't know when Griezmann is going to be coming or playing, but he's going to be eventually in
I heard it was going
Orlando,
to be
which is
after
really
the World Cup.
exciting.
Sorry, go ahead. I heard it was after the World Cup is what I heard.
I thought so too. They announced it, but I didn't think he was going to be coming yet. That should even add to more attacking power for Orlando, which is really interesting given the fact that that is not their problem. But, this is the MLS. We love that about it. Nashville, mentioned against Chicago. Nashville's a scoring team. They're one of the best teams in the MLS right now. Based on the number, they would be the team that you would want to play to win it all. And I said based on the number. But however, you've already lost some of that value. Same thing because of Sam Surridge and his golden boot possibility. He's absolutely flying. He was around 1,200 or something earlier in the season. Now he's up to the leading favorite in and around Messi. Depends on if he gets sold. Hopefully he stays in Nashville. But yes, Nashville scoring prowess. You want to bet them to score. Chicago Fire, that looks like a potential over. I love goals in Inter Miami and Austin. I think Inter Miami could put up 4 or 5 alone. The over 3 is juiced about minus 150. Might come down, might not. Wherever it is, I'm going to be looking to take that over 3 at around minus 130, minus 135 ish, around there. So could be pre kickoff, could be right when kickoff happens. Those are just my quick thoughts, and I can comment on just about anything else that you want me to.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think that's why we love the MLS because there's just a ton of goals, guys. And those of us who, well, maybe we got some new listeners. Maybe you guys haven't aren't too familiar with betting on soccer or betting the MLS. The MLS is a really fun league to bet on. It's also a fun league to watch as well, just because you just see so many goals. And in my opinion, I think Brad would probably agree with me. I think that the main reason why you see so many goals is the defending is just so bad. There's just so much bad defending in a lot of different teams in the MLS, and so you see a lot more teams creating chances. I also think teams kind of play more on the front foot in the MLS, whereas maybe some other leagues they play a little bit more reserved. MLS teams they just kind of go for it, right? Would you agree with it?
For sure. And it's because of the style of the league, in a sense of it's one of the only ones that doesn't have promotion relegation. And what that does to a style is you're not as concerned, almost like a second division team. You're not always as concerned with balls coming into your net, but rather you would like to showcase. They're more of a what we call a showcase league where people could come in and just take off the best talent, and usually people like to attack, and so you see a lot of these teams with top heavy players, mostly because you can get those type of players, and with the style the way it is, you just attack and outscore people. So with the MLS, it's one of those leagues where if it's not coming, it still could be coming. So just be patient, even when it looks super ugly, which it has. A lot of mistakes happen, and that usually happens towards the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And then I don't know, just as a couple, I'm looking at the slate here for tomorrow. Just a few games here that I'm interested in, and I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it or if you have any thoughts. One game for me, and I think is probably going to be. I think the books might get it wrong. I haven't checked the line yet. I'll be fully honest with you, but I'm looking at Galaxy Minnesota. I think that one could be a more of a lower scoring game. Galaxy. Just not the same offensively right now. But they've actually, I think, they improved a little bit defensively. And Minnesota as well seems to be a little bit more of a defensive team. And I know we're talking about MLS, a lot of goals, but I can see a lower scoring one in this one. Do you have any thoughts at all on that game?
I'm pretty much a stay away from all things Minnesota, and a lot. So with the Galaxy, even if they score, they don't score and score and score. They tend to score and sit back a little bit. And their defense is so shocking that they pretty much always concede. And if they get caught into that 1-1 type of battle, the 1-1 type of match just is different than any other score line. You tend to have a little bit more conservative play, and you get that a lot with the Galaxy. I just hate betting on them because I don't like anything that they're doing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they are a difficult team to bet on for sure. I just think probably the books think that they may be thinking that Galaxy is still a higher scoring team or the defense is not as good. But I think their defense has improved. So I'll take a look at that one. But yeah, it's probably a stay away from me. And then another game I'm looking at as well, San Diego taking on San Jose. I'm waiting for the regression here to happen for San Diego. Do you think it happens here against San Jose? San Jose is pretty good at home. What are we looking at? We're looking at goals. I kind of feel like I'm leaning more towards goals in this one, but what are your thoughts? Anything at all?
I'm just not as high on San Jose as I was last season with some of those attackers that they had really carrying the team, especially when they were at home. I would lean more into the San Diego area. Could be a 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-1 type of match.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. So, yeah, I think we see goals in that one. I'll take a look at it and see what the totals are at. And then finally here, just looking at some other interesting matchups here, maybe with some interesting storylines. Philadelphia. Brad, I'm interested. What are your thoughts on Philadelphia? Have they just lost that much in the offseason that they're just a shell of themselves? I kind of, in a sense, I compare them to the Galaxy after they won the championship. So I guess the Galaxy from last year. I wonder if like we're seeing similar trends here with Philadelphia, of course, finishing first place at the end of the season, and then this season, I believe they're still winless if I'm not mistaken. Here, they're going to Charlotte. Here, Charlotte's a pretty good team at home. I like Charlotte in this one, of course, but any kind of like long term progression here that we should be looking at for the Union?
I'm not really high on the Union. I think they have average play and average players. They gave away some of their top guys, like a Ty Baribo, and specifically with Ty Baribo, he was their finisher. He was able to get on the end, and they play a high press type, or have in the past played a real high press defense, and that wins balls to get to that striker quickly, which is what DC United is also doing with Ty Baribo right now, who scored on them in the first game and beat them. I'm just not high on them. I think they're young, going through transition right now. I think they're just going to be very average and a very pesky team to bet, giving you multiple outcomes. So I'm probably going to be a stay away from Philly for a while.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that that's the best way to put it. They're just very average right now. Nothing really stands out to me when you're watching the Union play. So we'll see what happens. But it's just an interesting fall from grace that they've had so far this season. I guess I'll finish with this. And we'll just keep it MLS strictly right now. Any teams that maybe are flying under the radar that maybe aren't getting talked about a lot, but you're kind of keeping an eye on in terms of betting, but also in terms of just being a good team. Any teams that we should be keep looking at
Oh,
here?
I'm back, by the way.
Okay, great. All right, we'll move on shortly here. But Brett, anything else that we should be keeping our eye on in terms of teams under the radar in MLS?
Oh, under the
I know that's
radar
a loaded
in
question, but if you can do your best, if you have anything.
well, you'd have to say Nashville SC is the most underrated team in the league
I agree.
by far. And I think Houston, or sorry, not Houston. I think Orlando is overrated. I think you're going to get some overrated lines because of their defensive poor output. I think LAFC is okay. I think they're good, right? Like a solid team, but I just don't think that they have that like killer in the locker room who's like a leader of men, like a guy who brings the team forward. So I think you're going to get a lot of average play until they get maybe hurt a couple times, or and I say hurt, I mean like somebody pegs them quick. They lose a match that they shouldn't just based on energy level. So watch LAFC. I think they're going to trend under the numbers, and they're going to be a very public play. So betting against them on the spread could end up being a profitable number. Seattle. I think Seattle's a good team, and I think they're going to get better as this season goes
I have a
on.
question, Brad. Seattle for me is the toughest team by far for me to handicap. What do you look for when you're looking at Seattle games? Is there anything specific that you're looking for? Because I struggle with their games.
Goals, honestly, lately. Seattle's conceding more than they ever have in the past. They played against Minnesota, and it was just an awful match. So like it as a kind of a hard one to. Sometimes you're a product of your opponent, so you'll look bad because of your opponent. So that's one you want to just like store away. There's one team specifically that nobody talks about. They're my under the radar team, and they are an open play brilliant team. Great at home, but they still hit goals because of their play style. The Colorado Rapids. I love the open play style, the high pressure, the willingness to go forward, front end, forward to back. I'd be looking at if I'm looking for goals, Colorado Rapids is definitely a team that's underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. They're fearless in the way that they play. So goals for, goals against. You tend to see a lot of goals in Rapids games. Montreal, are they really that bad? And I'll end it with that. Is Montreal really that bad? I feel like everyone just kind of buries them. Are they that bad?
Montreal has really improved, especially in the goal scoring department over the last season. They got that new big tall striker Owusu, I think his name is, and having him, he finishes. And there's a couple guys around him that they've built. But the one thing about Montreal that you've been able to find consistency with year after year is they concede match after match after match. They might have like 2 or 3 clean sheets over the last 30 plus matches. So when you're looking at Montreal, no. Are they going to score? If you think they're going to score, then both teams to score is almost a shoo-in.
Yeah, they have a really hard time keeping clean sheets. But I'm with you. I think they're a little bit undervalued. I think they've gotten better. And I don't think they're as much of an auto fade maybe as they have been in the past. So probably more matchup dependent for them. But on any given day, I think they can absolutely win some games. And I think you get some good value on some lines for them. So that's another team that I'm personally kind of keeping my eye on going forward. But all right, cool.
Last team I have for you, I'll leave, is New York City Football Club. I think they are a very underrated team.
Yeah, no doubt. I think they don't get enough recognition. I think I'd be interested to see how they're perceived once their new stadium opens up. I think maybe that's part of the problem is the fact that they play in a baseball stadium. I don't know, just optically, it kind of I don't know. For me, anyway, maybe it's just me, but kind of, it throws off the value a little bit. Like I don't know. It's hard to. It's I don't know. It just really messes with me. But yeah, I think once they get their new stadium, it probably because they're a very good team. They're solid on both ends. I absolutely think they have what it takes to really win it all. It depends on Miami for everyone's got Miami as a shoe in. I'm not so sure. I think health plays a lot into that. You're relying on a lot of older guys. Although they did bring in some younger talent, but hasn't really worked out yet. Berterame hasn't really lived up to his contract yet, in my opinion. But it's a long season, and for sure he's an upgrade over Luis Suarez. So we'll see what happens with Miami. I think rightfully so they are the favorites to win it all, but we'll have to see. It's a long season. So, all right. Anything
No
else?
EPL. No EPL this weekend. You'll have cup matches. So EPL looking like next weekend. You have the return of Bolivia today. You have the return of Finland tomorrow. The return of Sweden. Norway's back for another week on Monday. So there's just a ton of really good leagues returning. Summer is a great time to bet goals.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We love those leagues. There are a lot of goal-friendly leagues, so we'll be sure to be keeping our eye on those leagues. All right, Brad. Thank you so much, as always, for jumping in and giving your opinions. Really appreciate it. It's great analysis as always, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Of course, open invitation, like Mosh always says to you, anytime, any place. We're always ready to talk some footy. We love it. So, thanks again, brother. And we will go ahead and move on back to baseball. Drew, are you with us again? Are you
Yeah,
back?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
awesome. Okay, so sorry, go ahead. I'm not sure where we left off, but
Yeah,
if you want to
I
give
said
us
my
any looks, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, it was the Framber under 18 and a half and Michael King over 14 and a half play. I really, of course, I mentioned about how I like that play a lot. Another thing about the Michael King over, which I like, Fenway Park's going to be cloudy and it's going to be like in the 40s and like 50s. I think it's going to be like in the 50s mainly. Yeah, it's in the 50s slash like 50s, 60s, which is good temperature for a pitcher. Usually we worry for a pitcher when it's like in the 80s or in the 40s. And when it's cloudy, less sun to hit the pitcher and less tired they get. We kind of saw it yesterday with the Royals game with Cole Reagans. Neither, if you noticed, I don't know if you watched that game because it was the only game on early. Neither pitcher was tired. Like literally, Taj Bradley won 100 pitches and he didn't look like he was sweating. So that kind of stuff matters for pitchers, and then that's the Fenway Park aspect of things. And then for the Tiger Stadium weather that I was just like looking at. Or is it? Tiger Stadium weather is going to be about probably the same thing. There's your chance of rain, but I do trust Framber. It's like 64 to 68 degrees, and it's going to be like similar weather, but I still don't expect Framber to reach the seventh inning. Last start, they only let him pitch 83 pitches, and I trust this Cardinals, young Cardinals team, which there's not much scouting reports as you would hope to be on them. I know it's the Tigers opener with him not to reach the seventh inning at least, so and one inning can derail that for Framber. We're not asking for him to not finish sixth. We're asking him not to enter the seventh and get an out.
Okay,
So
cool. Yeah, awesome. And then anything else for baseball that we should be looking at, Drew?
yeah, definitely. Another one I was looking at was the Rockies Phillies, and then with the Rockies Phillies, I was seeing Aaron Nola real quick. And then Aaron Nola, he is at 17 and a half, which is interesting. The Rockies have been absolutely atrocious against starting pitchers this year. I think they allowed every starting pitcher to go 6 innings or more except one, and that one ended up getting injured. But it is an elevation. Illinois hasn't been great. And there is like 15 to 20 mile per hour wind blowing in from the left side, so it favors left-handed hitters more that will pull it to the right side. At Coors Field, we all know Coors Field. There's home runs hit, so if you want good value for home runs, it could be this. Yes, there is 15 to 20 miles blowing in, and it's cold, but I can still see there possibly being home runs there. So I'm still debating that one. I'll let you know that game is not until 4:10 p.m. Eastern with Aaron Nola. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at the over 10.5 in that game. I mean, that's a lot of runs, but it is Coors Field. But the only thing I was worried about when I was doing my research, looks like the Rockies not a great slugging team, not great at home runs, and although the Phillies haven't given up a lot of runs, but it's early in the season, so it's kind of hard to go off of data right now. Basically you only played what, two series right now. Most of these teams, right? They've only played against two teams, so it's kind of hard to fully go off of that. But it is something I was looking at. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what your thoughts are on that as we get closer to first pitch.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
do
let's.
have
Mhm.
I do have one more play. I'll let you know if I do the Aaron Nolan one because I'm still doing like kind of more research on that. I know Aaron Nola with for some reason he was great in the WBC, but like, of course he wasn't great last year. And I still have respect for Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has been one of the best pitchers, like consistent pitchers. He's like a Matt Cain, consistent pitchers in the league. He's just injuries have derailed him. He doesn't seem like he used to be. He doesn't have the break he used to be. So I'm thinking about that one. But there was another game that I was interested in. Brian Wu versus Reed Detmers, the Seattle Mariners. This guy is walking 6 innings. His outs are at over 17 and a half from minus 200. That's a lot of juice. So I was going to look to probably pair that with something. And then the thing I might pair with is, let me see real quick. Let me see. I had it right here that I was going to pair it with. I'm going to see if that line may have changed, but I'm still on the fence with some of these outs that I may pair with later on. So if I do any of those outs, because that one's not till like 9:38 p.m., I'll let you know as well and let the
Yeah,
Twitter know.
yeah,
So my
yeah,
only official
yeah.
play is the first one.
Okay, yeah, sounds
Hey,
good.
Drew, I need an official play from your son as well.
From my what?
I believe it's your son in the
Oh yeah, you
background
hear
that
him?
I heard.
Yeah.
I need an official
Okay.
play so
Augie,
we can make sure to smash that.
Augie,
and then
say your favorite team. Beijing. Okay.
uh,
That's adorable.
Niners. See, he's my
love it.
son. He said Niners.
Niners, yeah, that's what I heard.
I mean, Brad, they're not playing, but I guess you can slam it.
We'll bet their
Oh
preseason
wait,
win,
wait,
their
wait,
regular season win
Augie,
Yeah, I
totals.
guess they're winning the Super Bowl.
Augie,
So put the snoots in.
go Earthquakes. Okay. There you go. Because I'm from the Bay, so I told him to root for the Earthquakes.
Brad, we're gonna need one from your daughter next, okay?
Hey, if she was here, I would bring her on for sure.
Awesome, love it, love it, love it. All right, okay. Did you have a home run play for us, Drew? I'll go ahead and
Oh,
give mine. I'll give mine real quick.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, I do have
Yeah.
one.
Okay, cool. And you tell me what you think. I'm on Vladimir Guerrero, home run plus 408 for that one. I know, guys, we're trying to look at home runs that are plus 400 or greater. So this one just barely qualifies. But of course, for the Blue Jays here, taking on the White Sox. I think the White Sox are probably one of the how do I say, worst pitching. Not worst, but one of the worser ones. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But they allow a lot of runs, if I'm not mistaken. The White Sox, the bullpen, and their pitching staff in general. Not a very good one. But correct me if I'm wrong. What do you think about Vladimir Guerrero hitting a homer today?
I mean, I can never say no to that, man. Like Vladimir Guerrero. I mean, I think he's definitely due for a home run, and he is facing the White Sox. He's facing. I never heard of Grant Taylor surprising, so I feel like
Yeah,
he.
it's funny you
Yeah.
say that. Sorry to interrupt you because I was trying to do some research on him. I could hardly find anything. So I don't know if he's like a rookie pitcher or if he's just got called up, but I could hardly find any kind of data or stats on him.
Yeah, something I'll say about the White Sox, they're very good at producing pitchers and then making them good and trading them away.
Yeah,
Because
so
we
we'll
saw it
see.
with Carlos Rendon, we saw it with Dylan Cease, we saw it with multiple pitchers.
Yeah, it would be nice if they could keep some of these players at some point. Maybe they could be good at one point instead of sucking every year. But whatever. Chicago baseball. Well, I guess we got the Cubs, right? Cubs are okay. But what do you got, Drew? What's your home run play of the day?
Yeah, for sure. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Fenway Park here for this one. I know the weather is kind of like colder at Fenway Park, but Fenway Park has favorable dimensions for pull hitters more so than the straight hitters because as you know, the center field can be like 420 feet or 400 feet. But if you're able to pull it to the right side to the lazy pull, we saw Cedane Rafaela do it last year, which is like the shortest home run you can get. It's very hard to do. I know people complain about it, but it barely happens. But you can pull to a closer part of that and the green monster view. If you're a hitter that's good enough launch angle, right, you can go over the green monster pretty easily. Green monster is short to left field, but if you're not good at that, then it can just hit off the green monster consistently and take away a home run from you. But I'm going to, because right now, if you look at the Padres Red Sox, they don't think there'll be much home runs in here. Sonny Gray hasn't looked great, so I'm gonna, target him here. I know this would be a righty-righty matchup, but I feel like Manny Machado is due. If you're giving me plus 580 for Manny Machado, who's right-handed hitter, he's definitely somebody that can pull it over the green monster, I believe, and I think he'll be able to get a hold of Sonny Gray.
Love it, love it, love it. Love the play value, love the skill set, love the price. I think everything is that's a great play, and I'll definitely be sprinkling that as well. All right, we are coming up on 45 minutes here, so let's go ahead. We're gonna rip through our final plays here. We're gonna move on to the NHL. Light slate tonight, guys, on the ice. So just one play for me here. We do have the Philadelphia Flyers at the New York Islanders. From what I researched here, it looks like both of these teams are more defensive teams than anything. So I think we see an under in this one. I'm going to take under 5.5 goals between the Flyers and the Islanders. You're going to get that plus 102. Drew, you are also our hockey quasi expert here. What do you think about Flyers Islanders under 5.5? And do you have anything else? I know there's only 2 games tonight on the ice, but do you have anything else for that?
No, I don't have any. I don't have anything necessarily for the Flyers game, but you said your play is the Flyers Islanders under 5.5, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be playing.
Yeah. I would say if I had a lean in there, I do like the Islanders, but I do like the under in that game as well. I just don't think there'll be as many goals scored in that game. The Flyers have kind of been pretty disappointing at scoring goals, but they have been playing pretty good defense. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great. Makes me feel more confident. I'm glad you're with me on that one. All right, then next up here, let's go to the hard court NBA in action tonight. Guys, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, there is a lot of money making opportunities tonight. Reason for that being, we have a 9 game slate. 7 of those 9 games are featuring playoff teams against quote unquote tanking teams, which means you have a lot of inflated lines tonight, but money lines are very, very much in play. I know it's going to be heavily juiced, no matter how many you parlay, but these teams that are incentivized to tank are heavily incentivized to tank. And so a lot of times they are going to do whatever it takes to make sure they lose organizationally, right? I always make sure I clarify this. The players are going to play their hardest. They're not out there trying to tank, but the quality of players and the caliber of players, that's going to be decided by the organization, by the coaching staff, and those guys are very much invested in losing because that's just the way the rules are set up right now in the NBA. So, with that being said, I think we have a lot of smash spots tonight on money lines. Again, these spreads are too big, so I'm going to stay away from the spreads. If you wanted to parlay all the playoff teams against all the taking teams, I don't hate it. I'll probably do that unofficially. But for me, guys, officially here, we're going to do another team total parlay. We've been hitting quite a few of these on the show, so I'm going to give it out another one here. I like the Knicks team total over 117.5 taking on the Bulls. The Bulls just given up entirely. They're just, especially after the Jaden Ivey situation, I think that has just demoralized this team. It's thrown another wrench in their chemistry, and they're already in Cancun. They're just waiting for the season to be over with. So I think the Knicks smash the Bulls here. Offensively, at least, I am Knicks are a team that I do. I'm afraid of laying big numbers with them because they're a very inconsistent team, but I absolutely think they can score points against the Bulls. So 117.5, Knicks team total over. I'm going to parlay that with the Charlotte Hornets team total over 115.5. They're taking on the Pacers. Again, this is the Pacers team that they're not playing any defense whatsoever. They're going to be without a lot of guys tonight. The injury list is pretty long. I think the only one that's going to be playing is Pascal Siakam. So pray for him. And if anyone's going to score, it's going to be him for the Pacers. So if you're looking for player props, I'd definitely look at Pascal Siakam. He's going to be really their only option for tonight's game. But the Hornets should absolutely roll. So I like the Hornets over 115.5. Give me this Boston Celtics over 107.5. I think this total is extremely low. Taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, the Bucks, nothing to play for, really. They're just kind of meandering throughout the rest of the season. Of course, there's the whole drama with Giannis. He wants to come back. Management doesn't want him to come back. I don't think he's going to play again this season. Usually management wins that argument. So it's more advantageous for the Bucks to lose. And so I think the Celtics poured on them here. 107.5, that's an extremely low number. I'm all over that. And then finally, the Hawks, Atlanta Hawks team total over 111.5, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Again, the Nets just a very poor team here, highly incentivized to lose games. They're playing a lot of G League guys, a lot of guys that would be on most teams, ninth, 10th, 11th man. So the rotation is not very solid whatsoever. You're going to give me the Hawks at over 111.5. Again, that's a very low number, very attainable number here. And I'm all over that. So to recap, guys, Knicks over 117.5. Hornets over 115.5, Celtics over 107.5, and the Hawks over 111.5. That parlay comes in at plus 107 odds. I think that's an outstanding value and an outstanding price here for four teams that should be running up the score against very, very, very suspect defenses. Drew, do you have any thoughts on that? And then also, do you have any additional plays?
Yeah, definitely. I love, especially with the Bulls play you made. I know we can go on and on about this. I'll say this real quick. Jaden Ivey should have known what would have happened to him, especially since he literally called out some of the best players in the NBA, especially Stephen Curry. Went on a 33 plus minute rant. Yeah, that was awful. But yeah, the Bulls, no, I don't like them. Like you said, I expect the Knicks to, you give them, as they would say, BTA as well. I like that pick, and I of course love your Hawks as well. If I had to if I had to overall, in my opinion, make a pick, if I had a total, I know it's kind of like a scary total at the end of the day, but this team is anemic to like scoring points in general. Like if you look at their last, I'm gonna say this: if you look at their last, just what is it, like 3 games alone against teams in the playoffs, they haven't even reached 100 points. So I really actually like, and because I think it's suspiciously low, and it's suspiciously low for a reason, I like Nets Hawks under 225.5. Personally, Hawks defense has been better than people expect. This isn't like a Hawks team, guys, that don't play defense. Like, they play really good defense and they'll score with the best of them. Play fast. Nets actually play pretty slow. They're one of the slowest teams, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Prince. And they aren't a good shoot. Their worst attribute is shooting threes. And the way to score the way to get to 100 points, you need to be able to shoot a lot of threes, and they're not good at it.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that's actually a really solid look there for the Nets. Atlanta's one of the more underrated defensive teams for sure. So, and Brooklyn will go through long stretches without scoring. So yeah, I haven't looked at their team total. I will look at it and I'll see what it is here. And then getting back to your
Yeah,
possessions per game, yeah, Brooklyn 27th in the league in pace of play. So to your point there, yeah, they're very slow paced team, which obviously is going to be harder for them to generate points if you're not running up and down the floor.
Yeah, that's why I like the under 225.5. I know it's scary because the Hawks could score like 130 and the Nets can get 100, but I can honestly see there's a reason that, like, I can honestly see the Hawks getting possibly 130, at the most, and the Nets getting like 90, so or the Hawks getting 120 and the Nets getting like 80 something. So I actually like that under 225.5. Usually for Nets games, we usually see in the 210s. So I see this as a gift.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And another way you could also play it is just maybe the Nets team total under as well. So
Yeah.
if you want to stay away from the game total, you could also just play the Nets total under. That's another way to look at it. So I think it could all hit. Honestly, I think the Hawks over, the Nets under, game total. I think all of it could hit, and we could be cashing out multiple tickets at the same time. So all right, cool. Let's go ahead and end it here with college basketball. Of course, the Final Four. We won't be back until Monday, so Final Four will already have taken place. We'll be sure to recap all that on Monday. But college basketball this weekend, Final Four, of course, in March Madness. I've got one play here, and it's a futures bet. I like Michigan to win it all, and I'm going to take that at plus 150. Reason for that being is because I think right now they're minus 125 on the money line against Arizona. You can probably shop around, maybe find some different prices. But in any case, they're probably favored in most books. If they win this game, or I would say whoever wins this game, and we talked about this yesterday, whoever wins between Michigan and Arizona, we believe is going to end up being favored against either Illinois or
Yep.
UConn. So for that reason, if you think either Michigan or Arizona is going to win it all, you might as well take a futures bet now rather than waiting for that matchup because you're not going to get as good as price. You are not going to get Michigan at plus 150 on the money line against Illinois or against UConn. So, and the same thing can be said for Arizona. Arizona, you can find them around a similar price. I will tell you guys got to shop around. I found this plus 150 on Bet Rivers. There were some books that had it at minus 120 for Michigan to win it all. So there seems to be quite a lot of variance on different books as far as who you expect to win it all. But in any
Give a
case,
damn for the whole state of Michigan because we're from Ohio. But for real, I'm tailing that. I'm locking in Michigan to win it all.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
Remember I talked to you that about yesterday, Prince. I was like, might as well just do the plus 180.
yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think that's a solid. By the way, can you guys hear me?
No, just kidding. Yeah, I can.
Good one. All right, cool. Yeah,
Brad,
so
can you
that's
hear
it.
him?
Say no if you
Oh
can't
yeah.
hear me, Brad.
Oh yeah, I can
Say
hear
no.
everybody.
Oh, okay, never mind. What did you say? No.
I can hear everybody. Also, Drew, you need to look into how much it would cost to license about 5 seconds of a Taylor Swift song, and every time your intro goes, it's that Drew looks at me, and then that's it, and then Drew goes. I mean, that would be so awesome. You should look into that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'll look into that for sure.
Great. Any additions we can make to this show, we'll take it. So anyway, but yeah, that's the way I played it. So I'm glad you guys agree. But Drew, other than that, and Brad, Brad, let me ask you first. Do you have any thoughts on March Madness this weekend? Anything? I don't know. I mean, I know you're not so much of a college basketball better, but did you just? I'll ask you anyway. Do you have any thoughts?
I have about probably as much knowledge as Drew's son does. He might actually beat me in March Madness. So if he could give us another selection for March Madness, it would probably be better than
There you
anything that
go.
I tell you to do.
Wait, are you ready for
Drew,
this?
bring him on. Bring him on.
Oh,
Bring him
are you
on.
ready for
What
this?
is?
Because I have family that's Michigan on my like stepdad's side.
Ugh,
So like I
yuck.
grew up watching Michigan. Augie, what is how do you say go Michigan? Michigan. No, no.
I think he said Ohio.
Say it again.
Is that-
Did he say Buckeye?
No,
I think he
he
said
said.
Ohio State Buckeye fan. That's
That's what
funny.
I heard.
Augie, say go blue. Say go blue.
Who?
Yeah, he just said go blue. He was trying to say go blue.
He said scarlet and gray?
Oh no. Oh wait, Augie, say rock chalk. Say rock chalk, buddy. There you go. He tried.
I love it.
Awesome, love it. It's so good. All right, Drew.
He's watching Minions, so he's good.
Okay, he's locked in. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, Drew, for you that we should be looking at?
Yeah.
Finally here for March Madness Final
So
Four.
something I will say, I'm probably not going to place it. Well, of course, my thoughts on my thoughts on the NCAAMs. I'm all the way like Michigan at the end of the day. And I'm just going to, like I said, the plus 180 most likely for Michigan. And then the Illinois Connecticut game, I'm still deciding. It's hard to doubt Dan Hurley, who's lost like one tournament game in the last four tournaments at the end of the day. So I'm still thinking about that game. But for the women's games today, I have nothing on the Texas UCLA game. I think that's going to be a slugfight. But I really like UConn in this spot. I'm going to look for something live, possibly. Right now it's 7.5. I think UConn should blow them out, personally, in my opinion. Like, not like blow them out by like 30, but they should beat them by double digits. So I'm going to look how they're playing live. I'm actually looking forward to watching that game in general. That's going to be a great game.
By the way, speaking about women's college basketball, I know we talked about it a few shows ago. You could probably have gotten a better price earlier, but you can still get UConn to win it all. I think it was like around minus 150. Is that good value to you?
Oh, yeah, I think that's good value, personally, on minus 150, especially if you do have boost. Because if you think about it, right, like UConn right now, I believe against like South Carolina is minus 350. And then I think if they end up facing Texas UCLA, they'll probably be like 7.5 point favorites again. So I think that's very good value, personally,
Yeah,
because I see a minus 200 for Nags, but you can find a minus 150 elsewhere. I think that's really good value.
yeah. I looked at it last night. It might have gone. It might have gone to minus 250. I'm pretty sure I locked it in at minus 150. But in any case, I know. Like, I think the second favorite team was Texas, or they were like plus 400 though. So there was a pretty big disparity between
Yeah,
UConn.
Texas is the
Uh,
second favorite.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I think obviously UConn just seems to be, head and shoulders better than every other team in women's basketball. So,
They also
I'm
have the
glad you
best coach
agree.
of all time,
Yeah, not to mention they have the best coach of all time. So, they're stacked, they're loaded, and
maybe
it's
in
going to be
all
hard to.
sports.
Yeah, well, maybe right. You look at statistically, he probably is up there for sure with the best of them. So, okay, cool. Glad to hear that you're on the same page with me on that one as well. All right, let's go ahead and recap our bets. Drew, did you want to recap yours, and then I'll
Yeah,
recap mine, and then we'll close up shop.
sure. I did Framber under 18.5 outs with Michael King over 14.5 outs at plus 133. Hawks Nets under 225.5 at minus 110. And Sprinkle Manny Machado home run at plus 580.
All right, awesome, awesome looks there. For me, guys, in the major leagues, I'll give you the Yankees team total and the Rockies team total. Both of them over 2.5. You're gonna get that parlay at minus 119. We're gonna sprinkle Vladimir Guerrero to hit a home run at plus 408. On the ice tonight, I like the Flyers and Islanders under 5.5 goals at plus 102. On the NBA, give me the Knicks team total over 117.5, Hornets over 115.5, Celtics over 107.5, and the Hawks over 111.5. That comes in at plus 107. For college basketball, I like Michigan to win it all. A futures bet here, plus 150. You can get that over on Bet Rivers. And then finally here on the pitch, we've got action today, Friday. Excuse me, PSG on a minus 1.5 spread against Toulouse. And then for Saturday, I like Atletico Madrid to score first against Barcelona. I also like Real Madrid on the money line, parlayed with Bayern Munich on the money line. You're going to get that around plus 117. And then finally for me, MLS, we got a score goal parlay. Toronto to score, Nashville to score, Orlando City to score, and Inter Miami to score. And that parlay comes in at plus 101. That's going to do it for us today, guys. We appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. For DrewDelucci, I'm Prince of Picks. We hope you guys enjoy your Good Friday, enjoy your weekend, your Easter weekend. We will be back Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And until then, let's cash out these tickets, and we will talk to you all soon. Thanks.